Welcome to the ASM podcast. We are back again. I'm here with the one and only Brendan Williams.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? And I'm your host, Christopher Dale. You probably know me by now if you listen to a couple of these podcasts or watch them on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Guys, a very interesting episode, especially if you are an American football player, because Brendan was a bit of a beast back in the day. He played. Oh, this camera just fell.
So beast, I
so
did
beast.
That.
Your energy pushed the other camera down that we're filming this from. So you played at what, FAU, right?
FAU,
Florida
Atlantic
University, and that's in Florida, of course.
Yeah, Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah, so really nice area to be in. And tell us about it, man. Tell us about your football career and how it was playing there, because that's quite an accomplishment to be there.
Yeah.
Division 1.
Division 1, yep. So I played in high school up in Jupiter, Florida. Had to do my own recruitment. So I had to do my own recruitment. About 100 guys on my high school team. So I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship junior year. And then on senior year, I got hurt, so scholarship was taken away. And then I had to walk on the team. It's called Preferred Walk-On. So Preferred Walk-On basically means that they knew who I am going into the team, and I basically had a spot, but they still had to treat me as if I wasn't on scholarship. Basically, then I had to prove myself when I'm on the team to get a scholarship, which did happen eventually. Bit of a grind because when you're a walk-on, you're kind of on like what's called practice squad, and then you work your way up, prove yourself a little bit more, and then you get to the big boy level.
So is that quite a common thing where a football athlete, because I can imagine injuries are quite common. Yeah. But I guess if it's like an injury where you recover, you retain your scholarship. It's just if it's an injury, you're out for a long time, they might put it like to review.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, a lot of these Division 1 schools, or I should say these D1 schools, and there's D1A. D1 schools have 85 full scholarships to give out. So if you go to any Division 1 program, all the big ones like Alabama, Florida, FSU, they all have 85 scholarships. So if they have a roster of 90 people, that means 5 people are paying the full thing. So for me, if I was hurt my senior year, my grade 12, that means that they want to give someone else a scholarship because I'm not used to them coming in injured. So, and it was a knee injury too, so it was pretty significant. And so they knew I was good, and I wasn't the starter. I did play, but I wasn't the starter. The guy that was the starter ended up going to the NFL and played about 5-6 years in the NFL. So pretty good guy, Alfred Morris. So for those of you guys that follow the NFL, draft pick, super great guy, and I mean, they just couldn't solidify something. So it's kind of like if you're trying to get like a sponsor and if you're a golfer, but you have a wrist injury, they're like, maybe not the best fit.
Yeah. So like obviously, so you had a scholarship, you lose it, and you get it back again from hard work. But what happened in the time where you didn't have a scholarship? Were you funding this yourself? Student loans? Like how are you? What's it? I mean, FEU's what, $40,000 a year school.
So the fortunate thing was obviously I was a Florida resident.
Right.
So being a resident of Florida, you pay in-state tuition, which in-state tuition at that time was about $2,000. Oh, wow. So even for a Division 1 program, it obviously was a public institution, which makes it cheaper. The tuition was about $2,000, so it was very manageable. Even to this day, I think Florida residents is like $4,000 or $5,000, so it's very cheap. But that's just tuition. Yeah, but that's not
accommodation. You probably lived at home, I'm guessing.
No, I lived. When you're on the team, you have to live there. Okay. So they room you up with all the athletes. Right. My first year, I lived with a soccer player. Second year was there, football players. So, and then you eventually move off campus, get an apartment with a team. So great living there. But altogether, probably around $10K. Everything, and then obviously once you get the scholarship, then $10K.
So did you work to make the money? Did your family give it to you? Like how do you sustain yourself? I think it's a big concern for any sport. Many athletes fear, what do I do if I lose a scholarship? Like, am I done? Am I going to have a crazy bill? Like, what did you do?
The unfortunate thing with the football was that at the Division 1 level, and there's great things that happen. But so for instance, when you're at FAU, very fortunate enough, we had a jetway on campus. So we flew to our games with like a private airport.
Is that the Boca Airport?
Yeah, the Boca Airport.
So you jets landing. Yeah, I'm like, damn.
So you basically take that and you fly to all of your games, which is a great thing. Not all schools are so fortunate to have that. And so as far as work goes, we couldn't really work. Right. Because of the hectic schedule. So if we had a game on Saturday, we usually left on Friday, Then we got home Monday, so it's like, and then I have schoolwork, we got practice, we got training.
You're just so busy.
Trying to go out party a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a great ride. But as far as the finances go, I just had to front it. I was very fortunate to have that money. Again, you don't pay it all at once, so it was very feasible.
I think that's one of the good things we have at ASM scholarships. We have that scholarship insurance.
Yeah.
So with the plan that we have, like, you know, if you buy the plan through us with United Healthcare, like, you're going to have a scholarship insurance included. So if you get it has to be an injury. Like, it can't be you get kicked off the team for breaking rules. Your grades,
loss. Yeah.
Like, it has to be an injury like you had. Like, you've actually quantified. Like, you could get. I think the minimum we have is like 100,000.
Yeah.
And you can get up to 400. We have to pay more. So if your injury means you lose your scholarship, then you can get the funding for it. So I think for many athletes, just get that and you're safe.
Yeah, that's a great thing to have.
It's rare you're going to lose your scholarship due to academics or doing something wrong, because that's something you can control.
Right.
An injury is kind of out of your control many times, right? Like, I mean, you kind of deserve to lose your scholarship due to academics or being stupid, but an injury is kind of unfortunate. But I think football, rugby, those contact sports, they're the ones that I think a lot more parents worry about, and it's good to know we have a solution for that.
Right.
So you don't have to, like, say, fork out a ton of money.
Yeah, and it's more so, like, for instance, if I would have had my scholarship my senior year, got to the program, and then I got hurt, they couldn't take my scholarship away because I was on a contract that allowed me to have that scholarship. So that would be a different situation, but obviously I wasn't able to sign at that time on my junior year. But I mean, it happens. So I mean, it's good that people know about it. The good people know about scholarship insurance. I mean, that's a valuable thing to have. I wish I had it.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get into, like, high school, because we have a lot of American football. We've got some here on the computer now pulled up.
Yeah.
We've had some good success stories lately. I mean, we've got Brenton, Allen, Richards.
Yeah. Brenton went to a D2 school called Pace. Richard Olikama, he went to a D1 school called Toledo.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he was very good linebacker.
His profile.
He's got a great video.
Toby Naylor,
he's at a D3 school right now, but to be fair, he's a D1 athlete. He got some D1 looks, and I'm hoping to help him out with transfer. So this guy's got a great story, because he's actually Nigerian.
He's Nigerian, right?
Yeah, he's from the U.S., but he's Nigerian. Great story. The ESPN did a great little clip on him. But
is this the guy who's his last chance you?
This guy we're going to be helping with pro opportunities. Yeah, so he's got his film here. His film is of him at Toledo, which you'll see is some pretty great film.
So we got him into Toledo, and now we're helping with pro.
Try to go pro.
So let's come back to him. We're going to get to pro, so we'll come back to him in a bit, because we're going to talk about NFL and stuff like that. So I'm interested in Toby, because I remember when we signed him up. So obviously he's a D1 athlete, so why is he at D3?
So the thing was, these D1 schools, right, they fill up years in advance. I mean, they're looking at, for instance, right now, the number one recruit for a running back in the U.S. is 2021, and he has about 13, 14 offers, and they're all big schools. Texas Longhorns, Florida State, Florida Gators, all the big ones. And he's in 2021, so it shows you just how many schools are trying to recruit him.
So he's 2 years to go, because we're filming this.
He has 2 years.
2019.
Yeah, he's got 2 years ago, but those offers were in probably 8-10 months ago.
Wow.
So it just kind of shows you, like, 2 to 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
That's when the U.S. colleges start looking at the U.S. kids, and that just kind of shows, like, all the internationals are fighting for those spots too.
So I guess Toby was he left it too late to get into D1.
Yeah, I mean he had a walk-on spot just like I in my position. Kind of basically you're not a tryout, but they obviously wanted him, but didn't have a lot of money to throw at him.
Yeah, they've already spent the money.
Yeah,
so it's the same in, like, when I do golf and stuff. It's the same situation. So they want you, they'll let you come, but you have to pay.
Right.
So I'm guessing he's going D3, he's getting some sort of academic money, and he's going to do a transfer a year later, right?
He's got some academic money. Great athlete, good student. I already been chatting with him. He's having a great season right now, and he's having a great season because he, to be honest, doesn't need to be at that level. He deserves a D2, D1 school. So
you're looking positive for a D1 transfer later in the year?
Yeah. As long as he keeps his stride with the stats he's got, he's D1.
Fine.
He's
awesome.
D1 guy.
So, like, how good do you need to be? Like, how, if I'm from the UK, Germany, I know there's a big presence UK, Germany for American football. Even maybe American listening to this, like, how do I know if I'm good enough for D1? Like, what are you looking for when you're recruiting?
Yeah, so the big thing is obviously your footage. So I know for a lot of the internationals listening to this, some of you from the UK specifically, it's kind of backwards the situation you're in, where you play 5-a-side when you're 15, 16 years old, 16, 17, you play 9-a-side, and then when you're 17, 18, you play 11s. But like we just said, the big schools, D1 schools, recruit 2-3 years in advance. So when you're 18 and trying to get out here, and you just now have your 11-a-side football video, it's doesn't work well for your recruitment. So unfortunately, that's the situation they have out there, because they don't have a lot of people playing. But at least we get some footage when you're at 9-a-side. That's a lot better than the 5s.
Right. So you're looking for like 9 and then more.
9 and more, yeah. The 5s is really not relatable. I mean, you basically have less than half the field on the team.
It's like almost like soccer. If you do a 5-side game versus a full team, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So the videos is a huge thing. I would always recommend, if you get to the process early enough, 3 years, 4 years in advance, try to get to the U.S. as soon as possible. When I was playing, if I asked my coach, hey, do you want to recruit an international, he would maybe slap me across the face, because it wasn't a thing. But nowadays, it is a big thing.
Why do you think that is, though? Because I've noticed that the last 2 years, our football has like gone nuts.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting so many more applicants, more coaches interested. And I think definitely, I mean, the first football player I remember working with us, done well here is Ben Thomas. Yeah. Who's come out here. He comes to the office a few times. He's a great guy. Love his family. Played golf with his dad. I played some of the best golf of my life with his dad. Like, cause we'll never forget that round. But anyway, that's not about what we're talking about today. But I know he came out. He was Team GB. Yep. He came out here. He's at the D3 level and doing really well. Yeah. No, he's D2 now, isn't he?
He's D3, same school. I think he had a little bit of a spat with the coach last season, just kind of trying to get some more playing time, which now he is. He's getting some really nice playing time. Yeah. Had 2 or 3 catches first game of the season, I think. So he's doing good things. But yeah, I mean.
And do you think, like, when you get players like that, and it sets a precedent for the next level of, like, say, that country's... I know in golf, I know, like golf, like, for example, like Sweden has a good reputation, good golfers coming over, the UK, obviously, South Africa, Australia, like, players who come and set a good standard, the coaches expect the next generation of those kids to be better or not the same,
I think it drips from the top down. So when I say that, I mean it drips from like the pro level to the college level to the high school level. So in the pro level, there's a good bunch of internationals playing the game. If they're former soccer players that are kickers, or if they're former rugby players that are either running backs or defensive ends, like you have Jay Ajayi, you've got the running back that's on the Buffalo Bills right now. He was a former rugby player. He's getting paid exponentially higher than what he would if he's playing rugby. So it just really, I think it's just dribbles from the top down, and then at the college level they're more open to it. I know a lot of kickers right now are I would say comfortably 10, 20 D1 schools have international kickers. Because they're so strong at it.
I know, I think it was 2000, Johnny Wilkinson, the English rugby player, he got offered like $1 million of contracts to like play American football as a kicker, and he turned it down. So I mean, it's been so easy for him. He just to kick it straight, like, because it's rugby, they have to do all the curls and the angles, like, just kicks it straight. But okay, so we're kind of getting sidetracked a bit, the pro stuff, but basically start early.
Start early.
As long as you're playing at like a decentish level, you've got a chance potentially, but you've got to start early so you can build a plan.
Start early is definitely key. If you can get to the US and maybe go to a boarding school, which ASM does help with, that's a great route to take. If you can play for like a Team GB or like a national team, that's a great thing to do, because there is a national team in America that competes with international teams. For instance, the coach of the international Panama team called us earlier today, saying how just telling their schedule, playing the U.S., playing other schools or other teams internationally. So that shows a high caliber level as well.
Cool. And I know as an American, we always talk a lot about internationals at ASM because we are a very international bunch, but we do have a lot of American athletes who help as well. So maybe you can talk about that, like the American kids you're getting. Like, what is... I think when I see a lot of Americans fading, they go to these showcase events and just hoping to get picked up. And it never really works out, because what they forget is the coach already has a couple of players that are actually going there to watch. So unless you do something like spectacular, they're not really going to pay any attention to you.
That plus American football is so big in the US. So on my team, my high school team, you had 100 kids. So if you had some superstar, maybe a coach would come into town, watch the game, but only look at that guy.
Exactly.
And then maybe your high school coach is handling your recruitment, but he's handling 100 people, and it's one person handling 100. Right. I don't know any one part of our team that handles 100 people.
Right.
It isn't efficient.
Yeah, even here we don't.
Even here, we do this full time.
Yeah.
So
it's probably 15 at max.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it just kind of like sets people up for failure. We're kind of relying on people to do your recruitment with their coaches. You got to have someone do it for you that's full time, like ASM. If you want to do it, that's great. You should try to do it on your own. Coaches do really appreciate you reaching out personally, but if you don't have any contacts, it's not really worth anything.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? A lot of people ask me, could you do this yourself? And I always say, look, how many times have you done recruitment? Have you done this before? Like, or has your mum and dad done this before? Like, because if you have no experience, it's almost like your car breaks down. It's not the best analogy, but let's go with it. Your car breaks down and you need to fix it, but you really don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you go to an expert, a mechanic who's going to fix your car. So it's kind of the same here. Like, you're trying to basically do something, you have no idea, you have a bit of an idea, but not really. And do you just want to make it, because that's really what you're coming to us for, is the contacts, the network. Like, if my son ends up playing American football, I can say, Brendan, what do you think? Do you think he's any good? What kind of scholarship do you think he can get? And what schools do you think he can get?
Right.
And within 10 minutes, you can tell me.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
a
lot of people.
A lot of kids expecting like these big schools, they're just not good enough.
Yeah. Like, people try to reach out to schools, they email coaches, and I think so many things go wrong. So they email coaches the wrong thing. They email coaches the wrong time of year. They try to email the head coach. I mean, if someone tries to reach, let's say, Nick Saban, head coach of Alabama, it's like trying to email Tiger Woods. Like, it's never going to happen. You're never going to get a response. You're never going to get a response. So I think that plays a part in it. And then also, they don't know who you are. They don't trust you. They don't want to waste your time, or vice versa. So that plays a big role.
Cool. College division, we were talking about like the level you need, but now, let's say I'm in university and I'm doing well in college, or I'm doing, maybe starting Toby, D3, working my way to D1. How am I going? Because obviously all these athletes we help, they want to be a pro, right? They want to make it into the NFL. That's really why they do. I'd say 95% do college, right? And how good do they really have to be to get to that draft?
Right.
To get to the NFL, like, what is the standard really like?
So there's great statistics out there. So just kind of dropping back for a second, if you played high school football,
why should you do that? I'll try to find statistics.
So basically, the stats is 6% of all high school football players play Division I football. 6%.
6%.
Okay. Of that 6%,
and it's about 10. I think it's like 7 million kids from high school. That's all sports though. That's all sports though.
It's big number anyway. Anyway, you look at it. Now, of that 6%, 3% go pro. Okay, so if you're looking to go pro
on the NCAA.org, it says fewer than 2%. So 3% is pretty accurate. 2% of NCAA students, athletes. This is all sports. So go on to be professional athletes. In reality, most student athletes depend on academics to prepare them for life after college.
Yeah.
That's that. So maybe it's 3% for NFL. Let me see if I can find NFL. Here you go.
You can go stats from high school to college and then college
it's
to pro.
It's going to be so slim. But there's still a chance, man.
The good thing is that there's 5 different divisions, and this is the frustrating thing, and really want to portray on to you guys that are listening, is that if you're looking to go D1, that's fine. You need to have the talent. You need to have the video. You need to have the relationship with the coach to get there. But second hand to that is there's a lot of other divisions than Division I. So you have D1, D2, D3, that's all NCAA, NAIA, and then you have junior college. A lot of people go pro from junior college because they go to a D1 school and then they get drafted. Even D2 last year, I would say record-breaking D2 schools, they had people get drafted into the NFL that are in the NFL right now. So it's not D1 and that's it. There's other divisions as well. And I mean, the stats are really saying it for themselves as far as who goes pro.
They're slim, but you know what? Let's read it out first. So football, right? So high school senior players who go on to, this is obviously American high school.
Yeah.
Senior players who go on to play NCAA men's football, about 1 in 17 or 5.8%. So not many. NCAA senior players drafted by the NFL team, so that's obviously their fourth year in university.
Yeah.
About 1 in 50, so 2%. So that's obviously a low number, but big but here. You haven't got a slim chance in heck of making it if you're not in the collegiate system.
Yeah.
It probably goes down like 0.001%.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize this, but actually a client of ours that we're trying to help on the pro side, he never went to college, but he's playing semi-pro football right now.
Oh, where's he playing?
So his name is Henry Nell, and we're helping him get to, and we'll get to the pro divisions and
let's move on
what
to pro, because we talked
means.
a bit about high school, collegiate now, like, because that's really what every kid wants, is to go pro.
Yeah. So basically, to go pro, you have to be 3 years separated out of high school to be eligible. Okay, or easily said is after your junior year, after your third season of football, you're eligible to get drafted or declare for the draft if you feel like you're ready.
Right.
Granted, you have one more year to get your degree, so on and so forth, but that's what makes you eligible to get drafted for the NFL or to go to the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
Now, everybody knows the NFL Combine or the NFL is the main goal.
Yeah.
Aside from that, just like you have different divisions in the NCAA, you have the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League.
Right.
So, just so people know, NFL, big money, biggest league there is. CFL, second biggest league, second biggest opportunity when it comes to financials and contracts. Then below the CFL, you have something called the AFL, which is the Arena Football League. And then below that, you have the IFL, which is the Indoor Football League. Then you have the NAL, which is the National Arena League. So there's a lot of different opportunities, not only in college, but a lot of different opportunities when it comes to pro football.
Right. So, like, going back to, say, Richard, we looked at him earlier, right? So we'll come back to him. So he's now, we have him at D1, University of Toledo, and we're helping him with the pro next steps.
Yeah.
So what are we actually doing for him? Like, how are we helping him?
So basically, I've been working with him for about...
best future player in 2014.
Yeah, he's a big guy. So
he's going to be good for us, right? So he's going to go.
So if you go up, he's playing linebacker. But if you go down, I think he's 6'3" right now or 6'2".
Which one's he here?
So you'll see him rushing in.
Oh, okay.
Basically looks like a big pile, right?
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of it you'll kind of see as you go along.
How many people at this game?
Oh, thousands.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, big stadium. So he's a big linebacker. He's scroll up a bit. He's 6'2", 243. So he's got some muscle on him. He's a big guy. I mean, he's fast. He's agile. He actually got a workout with the NFL team that we did 6 months ago, with the Chicago Bears. So great thing for him. He was able to work out with them. Unfortunately, he actually didn't make it at that time, but he does have that on his resume. So when another team wants to pick him up, if it's NFL, CFL, or Arena, he has a great thing on his resume that an NFL team was willing to put him on the team on a tryout.
Right. So he's still in college right now?
No, so he went to University of Toledo. We've helped him all the way through.
Okay. So we're doing the pro stuff.
Now we're doing the pro stuff. We're about 6-8 months through it right now. Already did a tryout with Chicago Bears, big NFL team. Unfortunately, didn't work out, so we're looking at other options for him at the moment.
So you're just like calling around clubs, finding him tryouts, stuff like that?
Yeah. So what I do on the pro side is, the big thing is getting in contact with what's called the NFL scouts.
Right.
So the NFL scouts, each team has a team of scouts, and they look for talent, if it's people in college or out of college.
Right. Who's that player we have in South Africa, that kicker? He's a rugby player, I think, right?
Yeah, it's Henry Nell. So Henry Nell, we're helping right now.
Because he's coming out to the Jets, is it?
So he had a workout with the Jets. The unfortunate thing was when we picked him up as a pro client, just so everybody knows, for eligibility reasons, we have two separate companies that we work pro stuff.
Yes, NCAA, we are doing the rules to a T because they're very strict about it.
Yes.
We have I'll let you explain, with two separate companies.
We have two separate divisions. Obviously, ASM Scholarships handles the collegiate side of things.
Yes.
ASM Sports Group handles the pro management aspect of it. They are two separate things.
You have to do that for legal
reasons.
Do that.
Yeah. So if anybody thinks we're doing the same thing, it's not.
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah. So Henry Nell, he unfortunately never came to the U.S. for college. He is a rugby player, learned how to kick extremely well. He's been playing in the AFL and the NAL, which are arena football leagues, making money.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that for about a year now, and he just became eligible to get drafted in the NFL last week.
Just last week.
So he was eligible age-wise because he did have a tryout with the New York Jets, my team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they said, we're really sorry, but we can't bring you right now because you're not age eligible.
Right, so we're just waiting then for the next...
So we're waiting, and now, unfortunately, the NFL season started, so they can't bring him in because of the rules. It'll be next season, which actually, in about 3 or 4 months, it's a big time because then they can invite him or get an invite for like the NFL Combine.
Which is what you're expecting.
Big things for him, expecting big things.
Damn, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Then he's going to get tickets to go, yeah?
Of course. Sideline pass.
All right, so... Let's then kind of finalise this. So, let's say I'm a football player. I could be from anywhere in the world, including America. How do I get in touch with you, Brendan, to learn about if I have what it takes to play American football? And I guess you can, based off your experience of playing, your network, you can tell them what university they could probably go to, or scholarship, their potential, even making it pro. Right? How they start this with you?
The best thing is to just get in contact with us at ASM. If it's me directly, Brendan at asmsportsgroup.com. If it's through the Instagram page, whatever it is, just get in contact with ASM. Yeah. You'll find your way to me in one way or another.
They'll put you in touch with you.
We'll figure it out. The next thing is get me your video and get on and book a free call with me, and we'll basically go over what schools you're eligible for, academically, athletically, what's going to be the best fit, and figure out the game plan for you.
Yeah. Cool, Brendan. I think this has been really useful for football players listening. I've learned a few things because I know a bit about American football, but I don't know enough.
Former player.
Yeah, I'd rather hire the right people. That's why we bring you guys in. So I just stick to what I know and let everyone else take care of the stuff they know. I think that's the best way, because there's a lot of agencies out there. They try to do these things and they have no clue.
Yeah.
I think if you want to have a good team, you've got to bring in the right people, right?
Yeah. It's also good to work with former players. There's some agencies internationally that try to help, but it's kind of hard because they're in different countries. They may not have played themselves, but just have a desire to be they like the game, or they just are a coach or so, whatever it is, but maybe they don't have the network needed.
I can imagine American football is way harder as well, because it's like the money's so high. For collegiate sports, like they don't take any chances. Like you have to be really credible, and I noticed that when I first got into this business, and that's what I was like, I need to find, especially for basketball and American football, like people that can handle that sport who are just like the experts, because then you get taken really seriously and professionally. Because
the big thing is football teams in the U.S. Those are the ones that drive usually the whole sports program. They bring in the most money. So they want the best athletes. Makes sense.
Fist pumping, we're playing music out. Been awesome, bro, and I hope we get a few NFL contracts. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.